gang-related. If you want to represent a color with Tupac, it would have been green, and that's the color of money.
After about half an hour, with Tupac and the others ready to leave for Club 662, Tupac makes an unusual request to his bodyguard.
I was walking to the car with Suge and with Tupac, and I was actually opening up the back door to get in the back seat, and Pac stopped and said, "No, take the keys and go drive the Lexus with the Outlaws in it, because we're going to be drinking and you're going to be the designated driver to drive us back after we've finished partying over at 662.
Tupac's last-minute arrangement comes at the urging of Suge Knight, who wants to talk privately with his star rapper. The procession snakes its way back to the Vegas Strip for the concert at Club 662, a concert he will never get to play. Less than a year earlier, Tupac had seemed invincible. He had survived a point-blank shooting in New York. He had survived jail time in a maximum security prison and had emerged more popular than ever. His first album with Death Row, All Eyes on Me, took him to the top. Within 3 weeks, the album went platinum. Yet, despite this success, Tupac decided that, when the time came, he would not renew his contract with Death Row Records.
Tupac was ready to leave the record label, and there was a reason for it. So, you know, that reason only his mom and the immediate people within his camp would know what that reason was.
Privately, Tupac believed that Death Row was not giving him a fair cut of the money he was bringing in. But Death Row was not Tupac's only problem. He was also fighting with an old rival, New York-based rapper Biggie Smalls, who he had attacked repeatedly in his songs. Their feud fueled rumors of a war between East Coast and West Coast rappers.
Well, the East Coast-West Coast beef was like a mirage. It wasn't true, you know, because all Pac is from the East Coast, all the Outlaws from the East Coast, you know? It was just a beef that he had with Biggie.
Tupac had spent the last 6 years fighting with the cops, the courts, other rappers, and now violent gangs. It was getting increasingly hard to tell his friends from his enemies.
Pac's big mistake was speaking truth to power. When you have that level of honesty, they don't want you here. No one does.
And now, as Tupac rides to Club 662 with Suge Knight, he has no idea that one of those enemies is about to strike back.
Once we got to Flamingo, we made a right-hand turn. We came to a stoplight, which was Colville.
As Tupac's bodyguard follows in the car behind, the convoy inches forward, and as usual, Tupac draws the attention of his fans. And then suddenly, out of nowhere, a white Cadillac.
As it got closer to the BMW, the arm came out and the gun just started firing.
Suge's car is hit with a spray of bullets. 4 of them rip into Tupac's body. Another grazes Suge Knight's head.
And after the Cadillac shot into the car, I thought they were dead. My reaction was to run up to the car, and instead, the car took off.
Suge's bullet-riddled BMW makes a hard U-turn and races off in the opposite direction.
I didn't know what to think. It was a fog. It was a haze. Were these real bullets? Did they really shoot these guys?
Badly damaged, the car soon blows its tires and breaks down close by. And for the second time in his short life, Tupac is looking death in the face. September 7th, 1996, Las Vegas. At 11:17 p.m., a hail of bullets cut down superstar rapper Tupac Shakur. Mortally wounded with a punctured lung, he's rushed to University Medical Center, where he undergoes 2 emergency operations. His right lung is removed to stop internal bleeding, and he is induced into a coma from which he will never awake.
When I first seen Tupac on the hospital bed and he had all these tubes connected to him, and I knew then that he was gonna have to fight for his life.
For 6 days, Tupac remains in a coma. Throughout, his family gathers in an around-the-clock vigil, refusing to accept the inevitable.
We all had this thing, and I guess he did too, is to where, like, Pac is indestructible. So when he got shot the second time in Las Vegas, we were like, man, it's Pac, dude.
But on September 13th, 1996, at only 25, Tupac Shakur's short but violent life comes to an abrupt end.
When he dies in the street, whoa, man, what is going on in America, man? What is going on in America where you make it and you still don't make it out?
Meanwhile, the criminal investigation into Tupac's murder is stonewalled when witnesses refuse to cooperate. Theories on who pulled the trigger are many. Some suggest a revenge attack by the Crips for the beating in the MGM lobby. Some point a finger at longtime Tupac rival Biggie Smalls, who will also be shot to death 7 months later. Others still speak of a setup by Suge Knight, who knew Tupac was planning to leave Death Row Records. Whatever the truth, on the streets of LA, retaliation for Tupac's death comes fast and furious. Over a 10-day period, 12 shootings erupt between rival gangs. 3 are killed, and 22 are arrested. In Death, Tupac becomes even more popular. He goes on to sell over 75 million albums worldwide and enters the Guinness Book of World Records as the highest-selling rap artist of all time.
They lost a great man. They lost an activist, a poet, a rapper, a brother, a friend. He was one of the great ones. Yeah, he was.
He's not a perfect person. He's not a perfect rap star. He's not a perfect pop star. I think people liked him all the more for that.
His mother, Afeni, takes the family reins. In 1997, the Tupac Amaru Shakur Foundation is created to provide training and support for creative students. That same year, the University of California at Berkeley offers a course entitled The Poetry and History of Tupac Shakur.
I speak to him all the time because it matters to me what he thinks about what we're doing. It matters to me. So I believe that he hears me.
To this day, Tupac Shakur's killer has never been found.